good morning, good
Good morning,
afternoon,
everybody.
good morning too, and welcome
Hi,
to our
Timothy.
second. Yeah, great, and nice to have you all here. Apologies for the 3 minute delay. It's technical hitches, and it's allowed. And as we always do it, our first session is our first segment of this session is an important session that we normally have, which is prayer and meditation, which is our great anchor in our broadcast. And with me today, I have Sinza, who will lead us through the prayer and meditation session, and we'll take it there with my colleague David M. So over to you, Sinza.
Hi, David. Hi, David. I hope you follow my last meditation a couple of days ago. For everybody, I will start with the first part of this meditation. In the meantime, Isabella from the Eco Village of Findorn is coming to join us, I hope, because she is going to take care of the second part of the meditation. Can you hear me well, David?
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. You can proceed.
So I will go on with the meditation that I did a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, I made the invocation of the 7 direction, and we will do it again today together. With this 7 direction meditation, we are going to build a cube around us, and we will put our heart in the middle of this cube. After this opening of the meditation, we will open an eye inside, and we will see the last image that we saw 3 days ago in the other meditation. It means the planet in front of us, hugged by 2 big rainbows, and we will keep this image in our heart and in front of our eyes. Then Isabel will go on with the meditation. So let's start with the prayer of the 7 galactic direction. Okay. Are you ready, Timothy? Are you ready, David?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Let's make some deep breath and relax all our body, all our muscles. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruit of planetary beings. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessing come to us now. From below, house of heart, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all wars. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum unabku eva maya emahu. Ayum unabku eva maya emahu. Ayum unabku eva maya emahu. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. And now that we are in our center, we can open our inner eyes and see the planet, our planet, in front of us and inside our heart. We can visualize that we start inhaling all the bad things all the sufferings that is in the world. And we inhale all this suffering and we transform all these sufferings into love, and we spread love all over our planet. We can transform pain, we can transform wars into love. By breathing, we are in touch with our inner power of transformation. Today, the codes that are arriving from the sun, the galactic codes that we can synchronize with, they are speaking about the next frequency that is going to spread all over our planet. That is the frequency of unconditional love, of pure love, and it is the frequency of loyalty for ourselves, first of all, because it's through loyalty for ourselves that we can affirm unconditional love for ourselves and for all the others human beings. Isabella, do you want to say something else about the frequency that is coming from the sun today?
Sure. Today is a very special day. In the Mayan calendar, represents the essence of unconditional love, but also the essence of forgiveness. That means letting go. And letting go is really something that is paramount for the new world that we are trying to build. Because sometimes we have a lot of attachment and feelings and dependencies towards what is not working in the world. So in order to really be in the unconditional love, we need to let go of our feelings, not our need for change, but our feelings in relationship to that situation that is unjust. There is a lot of injustice in the world, a lot. And to some degree, all of us experience this injustice everywhere around the planet. And the curriculum is to let go of the feelings we have about that injustice in order to embrace the capacity to change. From that place, we can change from love. Because we embrace our feelings, we accept them, and we release them. We liberate them. Then we are
Bad connection from Scotland. We take this suggestion and we focus the breathing, visualizing all the feelings that we have, all the feelings of injustice, and we can breathe everything in and transform and hail and breath out. Isabella?
hello, I'm back again. And also, I have to release the need to, fix the rural environment in which I am. I am where I am, and it's a beautiful place. I live in the north of Scotland, and I chosen to live here 13 years ago. So it's rural, and the connectivity is not great, but there is a lot of reward in the other side. So I'm just going to sound a gong, and with the sound, let's breathe in, let's breathe out. Just focus on the sound. I played the gong not just because it's a beautiful sound, but for a reason. There is a quote from Michelle Obama that says, "When they go low, we go higher." And it is exactly what we are required to do to change the injustice. We need to vibrate higher. We need to stay in the higher frequencies. Because if we stay in the judgment, in the feelings of resentment, in the feelings of, this is not just, we are not vibrating enough high to change things. When they go low, we go higher means that. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Grazie Isabella. Isabella is living in a quite interesting place. She lives in an eco village, Findorn. It's very famous. I read it about it according with the fact that all the environment that is quite rural, quite cold, quite sandy, they develop a special agriculture techniques at the beginning. I don't know now. She can tell us something, but they develop a technique that was a spiritual approach to agriculture. It means that they were speaking, getting in touch with the spirits of the elementary that are there. But maybe she can explain better than me how it was working, because they had incredible results in agriculture.
Sure. So Findon is a community, was born in the 1962, and the principles of Findon were built around co-creation with nature, inner listening, and love in action, which is the way we could call work, or the way we call work. We don't call it anymore work, it's service. And these three principles are informing everything we do in the Findon community. There is also an organization that is called Findon Foundation that runs education. And over the years, actually, it has been badly hurt by the pandemic. And probably it's because the community is also very slow in technology, as you can see from my connectivity. And so there was a delay in launching all the online trainings. And also there is something that is very special about being with all the people and putting in action all the principles. So it was, and it is still difficult to go online. And then the other aspects of Findon are really remarkable for many reasons, because the community decides things in a very social and inclusive way. And so every voice is matters, which means that sometimes it takes a long time to take decisions, but also it shows how much is important to go somewhere all together and make changes from within. So when I accept change from within, then we can move ahead. Otherwise, we are all fragmented somehow. And the cohesive aspect probably is really the inner listening, because we come all from the same source. Although we have languages, we have races, we have different people, we have different upbringings, and this is something that, in order to overcome it, it's very important to go back to the center, to what is the essence of being human.
And is the essence of being
So-
human about art?
Oh, say it again. Sorry, I didn't get it.
Is the essence of being a human something about art?
I think the essence of being human and Findon is in regard to the understanding of interdependency, which means everything I do impacts in some way, and in other people, not just people, in the environment, in the matrix. The matrix is working in synergy, and even we are not conscious of it, we are all contributing to it. And even when we think our actions or our words don't matter, they do, always. Even we don't feel it in that present moment, even we don't see it yet, but the change is coming.
Okay, that's good. Maybe if I may add something on that, on the the sense of being human on earth. I think also one thing I've noted, one thing I can add is the connection with nature, which is being human on earth. It also recognizes the interconnectedness with the natural world, whereby our human being is inculcated, or rather it's linked with the health of the planet, and also understanding the connection is crucial for sustainable living. So that's my thought about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you just spot it, because we human, we are not superior to anything in nature. It's nature that is like including us. But of course, because we are human beings, so we have a huge responsibility of keeping, being the shepherd of this planet for many reasons. And we have been reckless, actually. We haven't been working with nature in building, in co-creation. But in Finland we try, and I think there is so much positive change that is happening in the planet that we don't see it, because of course the news wouldn't report it. But it is happening. This, what you are doing, is happening. What you are doing in your personal life is certainly it matters.
I agree. I agree so much. Yeah, and also I think maybe too, you know, that also I think brings us to the moral and the ethical consideration, whereby as human beings, at times ethical capacities as human beings, makes us, grapple with the questions of whether it's right or wrong, justice and compassion. And, it also brings about consideration on how do we treat each other. And this also involves also, nature itself and environment and other living beings together. And I think as you're taking us through the meditation, I there's a quote by Michelle Obama, sorry, when when they go low, we go high. So it's easy to be resentful at a time like this and complain that others are emitting more than we are, and you sort of become resentful about that. But I think when you're able to ignore that, see the bad, the wrong, which other people are doing, and then you choose to do the right thing, and I think that has come out clearly here in Africa. Probably we feel like we do less and we emit less than the Western countries, and probably we get resentment because the effects of climate change. We become more vulnerable with them. But I think from what I've gotten today is that when you choose to go high, when they go low, it also gives you some sense of peace of mind, and you're able to relate well with nature and everyone around you.
I think the law of nature is
Yeah.
the law we are in. This is something that we have to recognize. If we are, if we can recognize that we are inside the law of nature, we will work and act for life and not for destruction. We will share resources, we will share knowledge, we will share discussion and point of view. And I would like you to show a little bit of a artwork, a collective artwork that was done here in Italy, north of Italy, and it's called The Column of Love, made by 365 bombs of love that are spheres that has been decorated by students and people in a collective laboratory, and that and then where they were put in this column that has clearly an Egyptian shape that is pointing and connecting the earth with the sky. So if you can send this very small video that I made this morning, you will
Yes,
see this is a column of love, and I hope the plan is to make this laboratory and this column all over the planet. So if you like the idea and you want to join and realize with us this net of column of love, let me know. Not working? Sì.
it's okay.
Okay, you can see a piece, section of the column of love, and all the colors that you see are the spheres that has been designed and painted by during the collective laboratory. Can you put some pictures? Maybe it's easier.
Yeah, sure.
The ambition is to build, to realize this column all over the world. This way, all the people that will collaborate to do the column, they will be connected somehow. This is how art can affirm to spread love. This is from the bottom. Okay, this is the shape of the column that you can see. It's close to the lake. Do you like this collective art work? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Yeah.
Where are you connected from?
I'm connecting from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya.
Kenya. Think about having one also there.
Yeah. Yeah. We do like it, and
You don't like it?
we do like it, and actually, the whole theme of love, and I think love is paramount. Like it. I don't know. Can love.
Thanks to you for
Am I
your.
audible?
I think, David, are you okay? Like he's
Um,
having some issues.
Thanks to
oh,
you all.
sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really, yeah. Greetings from Norway. I really like it. I think this thing about reconnecting with nature, but also nature as something that is integrated in human beings. It's not outside, but it's inside. So the as the cosmology of life, the big cosmos is integrated in the microcosmos. So what are you saying that and this love in action and this the art is actually the connection and collaboration of the heart. How can we really connect and be telepathic? And I think it's happening as we speak. You know, it is this kind of global web of interconnectedness that is happening from the grassroots up, that is connecting the action of creativity. And being part of this team with Erum and David and Timothy for a long time, and working now for the last 90 days since the African Climate Summit in Nairobi. I think it's very important to say that the mirror is Ubuntu, the African spirit of Ubuntu, like I am here because you are there, and that is manifesting in dreams together and can create a possible future that we can take care of the planet and take care of everything. Um, and also coming from Norway with a deep ecology movement, which is like really appreciating the silent vibration of a mountain, of a river, the rights of a river, the rights of plants, the rights of a tree to exist in reality with us. So maybe Timothy or David, and how can we say something about Ubuntu and how we can connect with you, Isabella, mentioned in the beginning from Phone. I think it we're touching something that is the same thing with different words.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, well, I agree with you, Inga, is that, first is the meditation part, which I strongly agree with it at all, in the sense that it helps us in a way, you know, uh, create awareness, especially when you with the body and the breath, and helping us to connect mentally and and also in the physical state, and that also I think that is timely at such a time when people are anxious, people have freaking out because they think that a lot is not happening. But when you take a moment and just relax and just pause, you'll be able actually to even see that actually there's something that is happening. And what this and by this I mean the actions that people are taking to help restore the environment, restore nature, and which probably you'll not have recognized if you are caught busy in your day-to-day activities. And this session, prayer and meditation, it helps us, one, connect with nature, and to take a moment to just uh, just relax and see the beauty of what people are doing, and it gives you a peace of mind, which I think it's what is needed at such a time. So Inga, I resonate with you at all, and Dr. Isabel and Cindy as well. It's something that is so great. It's something of the sort. Yeah. So um, that has been it. Thank you so much, Dr. Isabella and Zinzi, for that great session that you've taken us. Helping us engage with nature, engage, also with spirituality. It's been an awesome session, and I must say thank you so much. It's a session that we look forward to. Where we just connect with, we allow ourselves to connect with nature, and we have said. So thank you so much, and looking forward to connect with you again in our other segment. So thank you so much, and
Thank you for what you're doing.
you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah.
Bye
Bye.
bye. So great. Thank you so much to our viewers again. Welcome to our second session. That is the first segment, and with me, I have incredible people here with me. We have Inga from Norway, we have David M, we have Iram as well. And before I bring in our guest today, will be joining us shortly, allow me to just allow this great friend of mine to just say hi to us, and and tell us how it has been. It's the ninth day of the broadcast. So, friends, tell me how has your experience been. We start with
So,
you.
hi. Hello to everyone. It's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. That's the Kenya team, and they're doing fabulous job. Both of the guys are amazing, and they're making a difference. So yes, it is the ninth day, I guess, and we are going to be like almost to the finishing line, right? Isn't it? So
Yeah.
we're having fun. I'm having fun meeting people together, and doing the work what we really have, what we imagined to globally network with people and do something together. Now it's possible because different cultures, different religions, different environment, different countries, it doesn't matter anymore because it's all the connection of the human minds. It's like, if you think something positive for the world, you have to stand together to make it a difference because you alone can't do anything about it. And I'm so happy and glad to meet all of you. Uh, the people in Africa, they are amazing. I've been, few people in education, they are making a difference. I met the designer who started back there in COVID. She sent me the designs made out of the wrappers, which is a sustainable fashion kind of thing. And I really wanted her back, but I couldn't have a contact with her. Somehow she's not in the town, but anyhow, that is the amazing work that I have been working with Ghana as well. And I am doing business in Senegal, as a few of the designers are connected with me. I'm a fashion entrepreneur, as Inger knows, and I sell ties, cravats, pocket squares, a few of the silk scarves, which I'm one of them as I'm wearing as well. So these are my niche products and of my brand, but it is all sustainable because it's pure silk, and a few of the things that I make are are those designs which is not available in the market as well. So this is like all custom made kind of thing. And somebody, if they want, because people from Senegal's delegation came over, they really loved it. So how it's been in It's For You, I guess it's new friends and new business acquaintance that we are meeting together. We are having B2B. We are doing fabulous job. It's nothing like it, because if you meet like-minded people like you guys and Inga, as I never met personally with Inga, but
Thank you.
you know what? Like, we are the best friends, and we are the good businesswomen and ladies. We are doing something amazing. We are almost planning something else as well, to host a conference in Pakistan, and we're thinking on it. So you see, we think, and we don't only imagine, we do things. See, it's the thing. Like, because if you believe in yourself, I always say, believe in yourself, and you can do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Iram. Thank you
Welcome.
so much, Iram. Thank you
Welcome.
so much. Thank you. David, how has the 9 days been for you?
Inger.
It has been awesome, and we are just from a prayer and meditation session, and which something was spoken about love. The theme of love came out very well, and I was listening to Irum speaking, and he said, "You have never met with Inga, but we're working together." That's mean the theme of love is still under exercise out there, and to make this world better, I think it's love. It's a ninth day of COP. We are still warming up, by the way. It is now we're almost approaching the last race, and during athletics, because we in Kenya here are very good in that. The last race, that is where you engage. The gear you did not use, the fuel you have spared, that is where you use all of it. So we look forward for greater things, and we are still here until the last day of COP. To
Thank you.
you,
Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you so much. Inga, how has it been for you?
It's been more than nice. It's been fun. It's been a deep learning curve, and we are learning from each other all the time. But it's also learning to technology. So we host together over distances, over time zones, and we have been talking to more than 150 up to 200 people from around the world that we've been interviewing, and we've been staging on stage on It's For You, and many ways that we're doing for It's For You. We are doing it for you. I'm doing it for you, Iram. I'm doing it for you, David, Timothy. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing for everyone that has been on a stage and is engaging in the local community. And you also know that many rightly said we have to redirect your spending to those things that are making the world better for you. And saying that, we know that everybody's flying to Dubai, and we know the expenses of being in Dubai. We make the burn rate of investments, but also deals have been doing there. But again, we need people outside the climate circles or climate activist circles, and to reach to ordinary people. And I'm really hoping and I'm feeling that this is happening right now as we speak. And but this needs to be verified. And of course, climate education is there close to my heart. I love working with you, David and Timothy. I mean, and Collins and Tata and all the extended team. And of course, it's David and Joe and Richard who has been kind of engaging and putting us all together in a diverse team, I will say, around the globe. So it's for
Thank,
you, everyone. I like it. The creative
thank,
explosion in the background.
Thank you so much. And to start us off, thank you, people, for hearing your statements on how far it's going and how far we are yet to go. And it's so interesting, amazing. So we'll be your host today. Me, David M, and Iram as well will be facilitating us for this. First our first guest. So Iram, allow me to ask you to introduce to us our first guest and also take us
Sure,
through.
sir. I'll be much obliged. Thank you so much. So, hi, how are you? All of the globe, how are you doing? This is Iram Fawad, the live streaming from Pakistan, Karachi. As being your host and the podcaster, international podcaster, we are here to say that it's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. So today we have some inspiring young man from Pakistan, and he's doing an amazing job. Let me introduce him. First of all, welcome Tosif on board. First of all, let me just let the world know that what you do. He has been doing so much. He is a climate activist and working from many years with our team of SDGs in Pakistan and working amazingly. So, welcome on board.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
So tell me something about it. How did you started this thing? Because boys in your age go party. Why are you doing something like that? Like climate change?
Hello, my name is Tosif. As I watch the world and as my country, Pakistan, is the most vulnerable to climate change, so I decided with my friends to found a group of people with starting with my friends to contribute our part to counter the crisis of climate change. So my friends and I are devoted towards the main cause and started by planting trees. And by then we found this organization, Progressive Climate Foundation. So we and I and my friends thought at that time that we must put our input to counter climate change.
Yes, definitely. Because if you counter the climate change, it's only by planting some trees. And because the plants is a lifeline to us, and people don't understand that the trees that are the lifeline for human beings who are living in the globe. And somehow we are not understanding that because of how important the green is. So I guess many of the furniture making companies are doing very ingenious stuff to our forests over here, and in almost in northern area, half of the mountains which are full of trees, they cut it down just to make business. So this has to be stopped. And because we like people like us, like I am in Karachi, but I love always to go to northern area. It's beautiful like Switzerland. Pakistan is a very beautiful country. It has four seasons and all four things that people go for to do some of the vacations and all that. But I guess Tosif and his team is doing fabulous stuff. Tosif, can you tell me about something that Unify Yango thing? What is that?
Unify is a federation of youth on water and climate change. It's an
Mm-hmm.
international organization that work on water and climate change. So I am the member of Unify, and as for Yongo is concerned, Yongo is international constituency of youth. So whenever and is the main constituency of the COP. So that's for youth engagements, youth involvement. I am also the member of Yongo. Yongo is an international organization which spread all over the world, and through that we work in climate, and through Unify we work for water and climate as well.
So, as per I said that according to the scientific research, climate change played a substantial role in the devastating floods. If the trees are there and it grips the earth nicely, then there's no floods and something like that. But I guess we have already loosened all of these things, so which had a direct impact on over 30 million people in Pakistan. Is it true? I guess because I've seen it, because they made it commercial. They never thought about it because the beauty they're just ruining, and plus how injurious it is for the people of northern area, that because it is leading to flood. What are your say on this?
First of all, there are many policies, much policies in Pakistan about environmental, but the main issue is the lack of implementation. When we saw, as I am from the northern side, I am from Swat, which Malakan division, which is the most affected by climate change and by floods. Uh, so whenever the hotel administration or the illegal occupants, when they construct something, the government did not do not pull implement the policies. That is not the way that you build a hotel in the way of the river or something like that. As a result, when the flood comes and they destroy everything, which is the main natural way of the river. So they block the natural way of the river, and as in consequences of that, the whenever the climate change comes, the flood comes, they destroy everything. So there is a need of implementation of administrative policies to restrict to from the local people from that things, that do not build around or do not make illegal buildings near the or which is the SOP, that do not uh, destroy the natural things. So as a result, we see Malakan division, Swat, Lower Dir, and the northern areas of Pakistan was much affected by climate change. And the five brothers which we saw, they were stuck in between the flood when the flood 2022 comes. So we see a devastating flood in the northern areas.
Okay, that's wonderful. I guess we all need to work on this one, because you know what? Like, I believe that when I visited with Madam Sadaf over there, there is more commercial aspect rather than preserving the climate change, preserving the natural beauty. They have made the restaurants and the resorts and everything, and which is like, it's injurious for the climate as well. But I guess now more trash and more of these things are happening, because I've seen it in Malam Jabba as well. People are littering everywhere. They're not even cleaning anything, and there are some few people, that young boys that I did a conference over there in Malam Jabba. It's like it's a full five-star hotel over there, but a few of the students of ours, which we taught in youth entrepreneurship with the Digital Pakistan, we did that, and that they started doing the campaign about the littering and trash picking up. So I guess there are few people like you who are making difference. And Tausif, tell me about it. That what do you think that if in Pakistan the policy about climate, how the government is implying it on there?
First of all, the government just making the policies, but there are we see the lack of implementation over there. When we involve the local administration in our climate advocacy work, they play a very little role in these kind of things. When the Billion Tree Tsunami campaign was launched, but there are many much people, they cut the trees, and when they cut the trees, but the government should stop these people from doing harm to the nature to cut the trees. When you launch a campaign of Billion Tree Tsunami or something like that, policies, you must have a check and balance control or monitoring system to monitor all of these things, to check around how many trees you planted and what are the plan to protect these trees for the future generations. So the government didn't pay much importance. So they plant a tree but didn't care about to protect these trees for the future generation. So there are uh, lack of proper urban planning or infrastructure by the government to implement their policies.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more, Tosif. And I guess, like, I have started from my home. That when my child was born, that I have planted a tree, and now it is 16 years old. And I want every parent to just, think about it, the sustainability. Think about it, that that tree, that plant belongs to you, this earth belongs to you. So just making sure that that tree survives from at least 16 years. So now, Miss Sadaf, can you please just yes, the presentation. So he has done a lot of work, like Progressive Climate Foundation. So Tosif, speak on it. Just let the world know what you did.
Okay, okay. Progressive Climate Foundation is a dynamic and youth-led movement dedicated to addressing the urgent climate crisis in Pakistan. We have the passionate members across Pakistan. We are committed to driving positive change. As
Okay.
It's our objective now. Our vision of Progressive Climate Foundation is fighting for climate justice, climate finance, safeguarding our nation from the challenges and impacts of climate change. Because Pakistan is one of the vulnerable country, and we are fighting for the loss and damage fund. That is the uh, that is our uh, most important thing to fight for, loss and damage fund. Our mission is to empower and mobilize the youth of Pakistan to take decisive action against climate change through education, advocacy, and tangible initiatives. We strive to mitigate its worst effect. uh, and our slogan is let's save the horizon. Our slogan underscore the urgency of our cause, emphasizing the need to protect our environment and secure a sustainable future for all. The horizon symbolize the broadened concept of our planet's future and the well-being of generations to come. And as for our working style and our thematic areas are concerned, the first thematic area is our thematic areas is SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. And the second thematic area is SDG 13, climate action. And the third is waste management. We are working on waste management. And the fourth one is tree plantation. And the fifth one is we are working on youth empowerment as well. PCA Progressive Climate Foundation collaborated with the STEAM organization to implement these initiatives. As we collaborated with Pakistan Air Force at Kamra Air Base, we give them 10,000 plants to plant all across the air base. And we also collaborated with the CDA, Capital Development Authority in Islamabad. We planted more than 5,000 plants in 2022 and 2023 in collaboration with CDA in Islamabad. And with Motorway Police, we planted 500 trees at Abtabad. With Honar Kada, we planted 300 plants in Art Gallery. And we also collaborated with Islamabad Wildlife Management Board, Rescue 11122, and we recently conducted a Leaders for the Future boot camp in collaboration with Global Shapers Islamabad. And yesterday, we with Pehchan Pakistan, we conducted a contest among the youth about the biodiversity of Pakistan. With Pehchan Pakistan and PCF, we launched this campaign on 14 August 1940, for 14 August 2023. And many of the young institution submitted their paintings, their photographs, to show the biodiversity of Pakistan. And we launch we the results and the paintings were so beautiful that we receive from this institution. Our first initiatives, in which we did plantation drives at different cities like Lower Dir, Kashmir, Islamabad, Charsada, Sawabi, in KPK, Punjab, in Sindh. We planted many trees in these areas. And the second initiative we took, that is climate change education and awareness sessions in different schools. We conducted global climate strike at F9 Park, Islamabad in 2022, and in 2023 we organized a climate solidarity march to demand from the government and the global leaders uh, to call off the fossil fuels and give us the loss and damage fund. We conducted climate awareness session at Peshawar Model Schools, Sawabi, in Nankana Sahib, and with the Lead School in Islamabad. The third one is we conducted and organized a 1,000 grafting activity carried out in Lower Dir in the wild olive trees, because olive is the main source of income for the farmers. This project benefits a small village in Lower Dir, a testament to our dedication to local communities and sustainable agriculture. And we also did rainwater harvesting with our colleague, with our friend and member. His home in Islamabad. We did a tree rainwater harvesting system, and also we organize a save water awareness session in Jehlam, in which we uh, educated 100 people about the importance of water conservation and saving water to protect water for the future generation. And moreover, we conducted cleanup drives. The first one with the Kinara Lake Park with Behria University students to conduct a cleanup drive to give an awareness that do not litter at any of the water side or any of outside the thing, but make these uh, things in a separate and segregated way. The second cleanup drive we did in Jehlam with our members and the community of Jehlam to educate them about segregation of waste. The third one is with the Sadaf. She was recently in Islamabad, and we did a plant cleanup drive in Trail 5. And the last one, we did a cleanup drive with the parliamentarians, in which Senator Mushahidullah, Senator Ijaz Haider, and Simi Zaidi joined us to create an awareness on the environmental day in 2023 at Shadra. In 2000, after the 2000 flood, we did a flood relief ration distribution. uh, we did a donation, and our friends and family members contributed in them, and then during the crisis we took that step to distribute among the flood affected areas, which is Dera Ismail Khan, a village in Dera Ismail Khan, that was Haji Mora. We distributed uh, clothes, food items, and some food items we distributed among 80 to 100 families. Uh, and in last but not the least, we did accountable why the people who illegally occupied the biodiversity of Pakistan, the birds. We take actions and took them into the government laws and give them we uh, are holding these illegally occupied birds release from the person who occupied them, and we released 1,000 plants in 2023 from which is unlawful in Pakistan to capture the birds and sell for your own personal gains. This is our organization work and initiatives we did from 2019 to 2023.
Very wonderful work, Tosif. I'm very proud of you that at your age, boys just party. They don't do anything else, but you are doing a fabulous job, and you're, serving the nation as well and making the nation proud. I'm so very glad. Let me tell you to the viewers that back then in STG COVID days, that when we started all of these things, Madam Sadaf and many of the other people. He's the main guy who started all that things, and helping is for you. He's the guy, I guess, and we should give a applause to him because he has been a very good help to connecting people in Pakistan all over. So I'm very proud of you. Thank you so very much, Torsi, for taking some time, and we appreciate your presence here. So, do you have any questions, sir, for Tosif? Collins, do you have any question for Tosif?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, you.
And thank you so much, Tosi, for the incredible job you're doing. And maybe my question to you would be, what are some of, it's easy for us to see the great work you're doing and, the glamour part of it, and, neglect to see the, maybe to share some of the challenges that you faced along the way. So maybe would you, for someone who maybe would want to pursue also the same path, maybe what are some of the lessons that you've learned in your pursuit to this course, and maybe words of inspiration to any person who would also want to pursue the same course?
My
So I am very
inspiration.
proud of him. Tosif, I'm very proud of you, and answer the question right away.
Thank you so much. And my inspiration is that as a youth, I want to do something for my country, for my own self. That when I die, at least when I go from this world, I uh, tell myself that I do my part, because the rest of the result, we result is not in our hand. The effort is in our hand. So we must do our part in this world to make this world a beautiful place to live.
So every human being has to think like this, and like you can make it happen. So just think about it, do something about it, take one word, one step, one action, and the world can be changed by the humans for the humans. So thank you so very much, Tosif. Do you have any question, Timothy? Any more questions? Oh, you are
Not at all,
muted.
Maybe
maybe.
just to
Okay.
comment on.
So we would be very thankful for your time, Tosif, and
Requesting.
let's join again. And it's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. So can you just play a little music? Collins. Okay, so see if you can wait and
It's
watch
Tim.
us, and you can leave the screen. We can now invite over more of the guests. Yes, there you go. Enjoy.
Dignity is the key to unlock your consciousness towards the environment. Yeah, nature is alive and nature has feelings. Don't you hurt its feelings. You are human and just stop being the reason why nature ain't healing. Good does not come from having good intentions or even by acting on them. But good comes from accepting that the dreaming of a day when we shall heal the world. Transform yourself, it's for you, it's the solution. A limit to oil, gas and coal makes me happy. This world is all we got, so we must save the planet, save it now. Yeah. Good originates from accepting that there are limits.
Thank you so much. Guys, now you carry on. I had to rush somewhere on a wedding. So I'm going to go there. Catch you later.
Thank you so much, Iram.
Okay, so
Thanks very much, Iram.
bye, see ya. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Great. Nice session it has been, right, David?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
From the
and
onset, actually, from the proceed.
yeah, carry on. Yeah, great. It's a nice session that we've had, and
As I was saying,
yeah, and I enjoyed the first part of the meditation part, and then also, the great work Yasmin is doing. I mean, it's just showing what young people can do when given an opportunity, and I think that is what we are pushing to see young people, take the center stage in efforts towards restoring the nature. What's your thought on that, David?
absolutely, you're right. And this is an inspiration to a young generation that think that difference has to come from the former generation or the generation to come. When we see young people doing great things as he's doing, then we are inspired. And I think since this is a global platform, because we are able through the social media, we are able to reach people globally. I think this is something to be bought, and is something to be exercised. Young people to come out, embrace this initiative, and make the world better. Because as Barack Obama used to highlight that we can, and it is very much possible that we can. So, team, I'm personally, I'm really inspired, and I believe the viewers are inspired too.
I cannot agree. I cannot agree more that David. And just to shift gears, part of the activities that we're having is we have a segment called I Can Sing, where we invite artists to come and just showcase, share their story, and give us a taste of their music. And to take us through that, we're going to play a recording that took place that was conducted by Richard and Stefan, and you're just talking about how his music journey has been. So that is what we're going to have David at this time, and then we come back again. So let me take you there.
Okay.
Other up and coming and phenomenally talented musician. I'm talking to Stefan Meidel from Norway. Welcome, Stefan.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you here. We're going to start off the way we normally do in this little event. It's by saying lots of people might have heard of you, others might not. So just give us a little bit of background of where you're living and where you grew up and what actually brought you into music in the first place, because I think that's probably the most interesting part for everyone who follows musicians. What was it that set you on the path saying, music, that's where I'm going to go?
Yeah, well, my name is Stefan Meidel. It doesn't say my last name here. I kept it very informal. So I'm a musician, guitarist, composer living in Bergen, Norway. I'm currently conducting artistic research, a PhD program at the University of Bergen, Grieg Academy Institute of Music. And my journey in music started with improvisation. So I was so lucky that my grandfather wanted to provide some guitar lessons for me. He gave me some money to go to a professional to learn to play guitar because I was very interested and curious. And the first lesson I had, the guitar teacher did something that changed my life forever. So he showed me just the E minor scale on the highest string on the guitar. And when I realized that I could start playing melodies and improvise by myself, my a whole new world opened up for me. So it was very clear from the very beginning that improvisation was the path for me. So I sat with my cassette player and played the few chords I'd learned, and I played solos over it. I rewinded and played solos over and over again. So I've been studying. Later, I played blues and rock, and I studied jazz. I went to the conservatory in Amsterdam for a while, for 4 years, and did my bachelor's there. And then I returned to Norway, living in Bergen. I did my master's at the Grieg Academy Institute of Music. And, you know, as my career grew and curiosity just kept on going, I actually went more and more away from the guitar, and I started looking at the signal path of the electric guitar, which was then going through several electronic boxes. And I started to get very curious about what was going on inside of these effect boxes that I was using, starting with, you know, reverbs and delays and all of this, and creating ambiances. And then looking at actually more and more going into the technicalities of things. And right now I'm sitting, I often play my guitar, but also I have a lot of electronic equipment. And I'm now in my PhD project, I'm then, instead of playing through an amplifier, I'm sending the sound from my guitar through vibration speakers inside of the instruments of the people I'm playing with. So they are my amplifiers. And this interconnectedness is what I'm very interested in, and also the resonances of those instruments. So the concept of resonance has become very important to me, and then it opens up even wider, because then I can start actually relating this idea of resonance to other practices and other people doing very different things. So that's where I'm at right now.
It's phenomenal, and truly and utterly phenomenal stuff you're doing. I
Thank
don't
you.
think of anyone out there on the musical scene that is actually quite capable of delivering what you're doing. So without much further ado, here you're all going to hear Stefan play. There you are. I hope you were as bowled over as I was first time I heard Stefan play. I think it was a great representation of the music he's capable of delivering. And we've heard the beginning of your story, how you came into music and you had that aha moment when you actually decided this is for you, this is what you want to do in life. You are hugely experimental, but you're also very classically trained. And things I've heard with you seem to be a combination of the two. How do you kind of use the pendulum, almost like moving between these very classical constructed pieces to what is, as far as I can tell, at the very, very forefront of really enterprising engineering and avant-gardistic aspect of music? How can you really combine the two like you do?
Yeah, I think that's part of the fun and a part of the challenge that I like, is trying to get different worlds or ideas to speak together. So it's in terms of also breaking down any ideas around genres, or me and my collaborators, of which I have several. We're all interested in just bringing this all together in this kind of melting pot of ideas, to use a very the very used cliche, but I think it has a lot of creative potential. So I do really get a lot of ideas from all the new technical tools and things that I'm trying out and exploring. But then I go back to things that I have learned, and that is sort of the, what can you say, that forms my resonant core, as I would call it. It's all of those things that I've learned, that I've just internalized and embodied. But I did spend quite a lot of time trying to de-learn myself, because learning a craft also makes you do things in the same way over and over again. So this kind of de-learning, de-skilling has been also an important part of my practice. So to try to find new things, so that I don't improvise in the same way every time, but that I try to explore new paths. every time I improvise. So yeah, especially coming from a jazz education, it's been really important for me when I finished that educational system, that educational path, is to actually try to, you know, break free of that. And I've done that in several ways and done quite avant-garde projects where we've just explored pure noise, for example, you know, just to get away from that, but then it will always stay with me as a sort of a core of technical proficiency, or what you might call it.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal way of working, and you know, I'm sure I'm not alone in saying I wish we all had that kind of talent and ability to think about it that way. When you explore your music, is it more we try something, didn't work, I go back, I go in another direction, try that, that seems to work, and I explore? Or is it a quantum leap process where you're thinking, I'm here, but I want to go there. Let me try to just make the super jump over and do something completely different than I did yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, I think the artistic process is quite similar for many people, and I think mine is no different in that, you know, we're creating the path as we walk it, right? So I'm never really envisioning something exactly how it's going to be. This dialogue with people, with the room we're in the situation we're in, the social arena. And in that dialogue, you know, we start to find that path together. I do have certain things I want to do, but they're far away and they're blurry. And the more and more we play together, interact, and have dialogues, listen to one another, we start to get a sense of where that picture starts to become more and more clear. And it's ever changing also, right? So I don't think, you know, that there's something that is definite, this is the way it should be, or there's a certain truth, or that there is a certain, also that in what we do has one certain meaning, right? I'm really all for this kind of ambiguity of things, that things can be many things, and for different people they will mean different things. And that's also what I find interesting. And to what I was saying earlier, also this about this de-learning process, you also talked about like going back. In my work, I almost never go back, even though it doesn't work. I just try to sketch it more out. So if you start, say that you're sitting there and you're doodling, you're making a doodle while you're on the phone or whatever, I think that can reveal quite a lot about ourselves, how we doodle. And my way of doing it is not, I will never erase something or rarely go over to something else. I would just start reworking that one idea I had, even no matter how ridiculous it was. I will try to kind of improve it and sketch more and more things on it. And in the end, maybe it's not even visible, the thing that I started out with. But what's there now, after me being on the phone for 10 minutes and looking, what's there now could never have been there if that kind of seemingly ridiculous thing was not there at first.
It's a process.
It's a process, and I'm this destabilization, right? That's also very important in what I do. It's a constant practice of destabilization, of taking risks, of doing something you do not know where it will end up, but you are just continuously, you know, seeking adventures and also people who will maybe destabilize your practice and make you yourself look at your own practice anew and learn new things. So that's also extremely important to me, at least.
Well, all of a sudden, there's something I can really relate to. And what you're describing for someone who's only done one thing in his life, which is managing capital. And as I grow older, and I've had some influence around the decisions of who is going to come and work with me, I think it's absolutely paramount that I work with people who do not think like me. Because the last thing I want to end up with sitting next to is a miniature clone of myself with all the faults, all the inhibitions, and all the perceived thinking that goes into the process. It's infinitely more constructive to work with people who they don't think like you at all. They start somewhere and the finishing line looks like it could be in a completely different direction as well. And that way you create something worthwhile and more interesting, and hopefully in my case more profitable and more robust in terms of portfolio construction. When I think of sort of the music, and I enjoy pretty much all styles of music, barring, extreme forms of metal, and, some of the modern hip hop doesn't resonate with me at all, mostly because I really like hip hop. The great artists that I know seem to be very aligned with your thinking here, that I don't necessarily know where I'm going, but I'm not happy with the status quo because I've been here for a while. I've done this. For a better term, I've mastered it. And now it's time for me to move on. Do you think when you speak to fellow musicians, is that something that all musicians within themselves strive to? And some just get lazy because they have enough success doing what they're doing and they're perfectly happy to keep on doing it for another 10, 20 years or whatever? Or is it a different mindset among those who keep on pushing the envelope compared to the rest?
I think that's a very interesting question, because I do also recognize in artists that may be viewed as experimental, that there is this sort of plateau they're reaching, maybe where it feels maybe like they're staying put when things are getting comfortable. And I don't know if that's it's difficult to say. I think most musicians I know always strive to learn something new, because that's also kind of nourishes the whole creativity in general, right? But I do think when you have family life and everything and things get comfortable and suddenly you found something in you, in this constant searching, you found something that a bigger part of a market wants, it's easy to get comfortable and maybe a little bit, if you want to call it, lazy. And I, when I was younger, I would have none of that. When I have a family, I do see myself that, okay, I can understand how that, there is a balance between, finances, family, artistic output, all of that. But I myself and the people I work with all kind of strive to always find something new, do something new. I think that's also something that we're very lucky with here in Norway, where we have a funding system for the arts, which is very solid still, which is incredible that it's still quite solid. There's still, it's smoldering more and more away as we, we're going into pretty heavy financial times everywhere. But that type of funding system is there also kind of supporting this searching, creating new things all the time. So it does, make artists able to keep searching and do new things. So it's a very complex question, because it's something I've been thinking about for a long while, and more maybe when I was younger, I was getting very upset with artists just staying put. They're not doing something new. I've heard this before, but now there's this give and take of family life and all that.
There one call it maturity, but I think we're reasoning, very alike there, in the sense that there is an economic reality which, very, very few people on this planet are completely insulated from and can do whatever they want. For most of us, there is that aspect that you actually need to earn a living. Norwegian system is extraordinary. You're always a very rich country, and All the Norwegian students I've had the pleasure of dealing with, they are the envy of any other student around the world when you look at their funding situation. So it does help, I'm sure, to have that kind of security blanket or floor built under your ability to actually explore and go on. But at the same time, that what you're describing, and I totally share that view, is that when your favorite artists, and my favorite artists, they're kind of a handful and they've evolved slightly, but I always kind of keep going back to the music I really, really like in some way or form. I lost interest in them when they became comfortable and they kind of kept repeating just the formulaic aspect of what works. And I'm perfectly happy saying, in this example, we take Prince, who probably is my favorite artist, that if you have his output and his changes of directions from left to right, with hindsight, it's impossible that everything he did is going to be brilliant. It's far from it, but at least it's interesting. And I think great art and great music and the great artists and the great musicians, they always find something they can bring on, because there is that innate level of boredom that I've accomplished this. Now, I not necessarily break free, but I want to keep moving forward. And one of my best friends who had many career shifts in his life, and he's pretty brilliant at everything he does, he says, Richard, it's only the dead fish that float with the stream, And and I think that's very telling for how he sees the world and his impatience at wanting to do new things. And I can only applaud you, and I'm truly fascinated by your output. So we're going to hear Stefan play again. This is going to be another piece, and I hope you are enjoying it just as much as I do. But has that always been the instrument you go back to? Because I
Yes.
imagine you play all instruments given your talent.
Yeah, I'm playing, a fair amount of just, but nothing very well. I would say, guitar. I'm pretty, can I find my way around the guitar neck if I want, but other instruments I'm not very good at actually. So most of the other thing that I'm proficient at is electronics basically. So I'm using quite a lot of like modular synthesizers and making programming on the computer and things like that. But and building my own equipment, right, and soldering and doing all of this. Which is very interesting that's a path that a lot of guitarists follow. So I don't know why that is. I think maybe the electric guitar and using guitar effects and all of this maybe has something to do with it. And playing with an amplifier, playing around with that, using feedback, all of this, you get in connection with electronics very early on, right? And you start really pondering when you stop going away from the feedback but actually start leaning in. Something happens in your brain where you start thinking, oh, these overtones are quite interesting actually. I mean, a very great example is Jimi Hendrix live at Woodstock. I mean, it's kind of, for me, one of the greatest guitar performances ever, or musical performances ever, right? And using also this wide arsenal of feedback sounds and the instrument that just, it's so malleable to him, and the way he's engaging with it's fantastic.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and I always say to my friends I'm kind of 10 years too young because I never got to experience that. I wish I'd been like 15 at that time instead of 3 or whatever I was. And I think he is a very interesting example for all kind of musicians, in the sense, first of all, he was obviously very, very good. But despite now putting down some Hendrix fans, I actually think, technically speaking, we have better guitarists. There are people who are even more proficient. But what he did, which I like with all musicians, and particularly singers, is that you can immediately tell it's him. It doesn't matter what kind of music he's playing. You can hear that this is a Hendrix track, and now we kind of heard them all, but long before I'd heard them all, I could kind of identify the sound. And for all rock and roll musicians, he was the man who made the guitar the centerpiece of rock music. Before that, it was really not the centerpiece of most bands' music. But at the Woodstock, there was no doubt who the star of the show is when you come on stage. And I think every guitarist ever since should be very grateful to him for that.
Absolutely. And I think to what you say also about, they're maybe technically more proficient, and if you want to talk about virtuosity, but I think, the more I play music and I start to really value also the way you can express yourself on an instrument, I think talks to a type of technical proficiency that is far more important to me, and far more what can you say, goes much deeper also than being able to play a scale very fast, which I was working on for a long time. Suddenly it's about bending those notes, getting that instrument under your skin in a way, making it I think those are really also the way we have learned to think about virtuosity also in a classical sense. I have a PhD, a colleague here who's looking into the term virtuosity and what it's being used for, and going into more about co-creativity, co-creation with composers, but also with the instrument, and how this idea of virtuosity and perfectioning some things actually is then removing one from the music more and more, because it becomes more and more about about very technical things and less about the music and the more emotional aspect of music making, I think.
Yeah. I can totally see the point.
Great. That was a nice conversation there by Richard and Stefan. Just encouraging, young people to also come into the space of music and then shaping it out, into a new different form. And it was really incredible to see that. And seeing how Stefan has, maneuvered over in the industry. And it was really eye opening, and I enjoyed it and enjoyed it. And right now, I want us to take some time and engage in get to listen to an interview that my co-host is David, who had something. So David, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Tim. I have a very interesting engagement between Collins and between a lady that we had on studio from one of the universities in Kenya, the member of ECGN, and a gentleman from Kajiado. They're going to share more. He has an organization, and he's going to share more about his organization. So I don't want to speak much. Let me share so that we can listen what they have for us, Tim. So,
Okay, thank you. We're waiting for it.
Campaign. Here with me, I have Lenny Langete. I'll let him introduce himself. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Annette. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be part of the It's For You campaign. And thank you for your host. And my name is Lenny Langete. I come from Kajiado County. It is Kajiado Central Sub-County, at a village known as Maparasha. And I'm the founder of Pastoral Climate Action. It's a community-based organization that is working on climate change in focusing mitigation and adaptation in the Maasai. I understand as a pastoralist, there are so many things that we have seen that we need to tackle. So we get to know much as we interact in this session.
Okay. So, what inspired you to start this initiative?
What inspired me to start this initiative is because of the so rampant changes in climate conditions. We understand that the Maasai, due to the low literacy level, we hardly embraced the aspect due to the changes we observed. We have seen its impacts, and also there's a lot of loss of our livelihood, like cattle. I've seen that in the aspect of doing farming is no longer conducive because it's an asset. So we are advocating in so many adaptive measures. mitigation measures. So it's the reason as to why I came up. The second reason is currently the Maasai
Oh, there is a network hitch. As you know, it's okay, it's fine. And as David is sorting us out, maybe we just stay put with us.
It's okay. Right. And as David is sorting us out, maybe we just stay put with us. It's okay. Right. And as David is sorting us out, maybe we just.
Yeah, proceed, Tim. Sorry for that. I'm working. I think it's a bit of network here, but I'm working on it.
It's okay. It's okay. I want to bring to your attention a conversation I had with Matthew Chanda yesterday, sometime back, which was it had great insights on how we can be able to, how people are doing out there, to try to restore nature. So, thank you so much, and enjoy this conversation. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone from where you're joining us from. My name is Timothy Ndegwa, and with me, I have Matthew Ochanda from Team Environment Kenya. He'll be sharing with us, in our conversation today on our 12 days of COP, in our segment on looking after a common home. It's so privileged to have you, Matthew. It's such an honor, and looking forward to have an engaging conversation with you. So kindly, sir, introduce yourself to our audience, and then we carry it from there.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this great segment. Even as we engage, as we feed in the larger conversation happening at COP28 in Dubai. My name is Matthew Chanda. I'm the founder, the team leader, and director of Team Environment Kenya. Team Environment Kenya is domiciled in Nairobi, with its branches all across. We are the National Environment and Conservation Movement. We have sought to project ourselves as trendsetters in conservation in every sense of that word as we walk around climate change issues, which is SDG number 13. So we work around mitigation, adaptation, and ensuring that we build resilience around communities against the issues that have ravaged our lives, having had the recent past excessive floods as a result of great rains that we experienced, and that which is just preceded by a long period, a strained period of drought, which again also ravaged lives and livelihoods. So we are glad and privileged to be working in this space to just provide solutions in the smallest of ways as we can possibly do as one of the very proactive environmental organizations in this part of the globe. Thank you so much. Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Matthew. Nice to hear all that you're doing.
Yes.
It was a nice introduction. And maybe could you probably share with us, you mentioned that you engaged, in initiatives geared towards SDG number 13, that is climate action. Would you maybe share with us, some of the projects that some projects that Team Environment Kenya has engaged in previously?
Thank you. Yeah, we have done a series, quite a number of them. The most recent one was a build up towards the COP28. We did an initiative dubbed en route to COP28. So we did an initiative dubbed Cycling for Climate Action, cycling for a cause, and the cause was climate action. We have, as one of the key players in the conservation space, we have been accorded a very rare opportunity, and by being given at least 10 hectares, 10 hectares of Gong Hills. Gong Hills is one of the water towers, very, very vital resource in Nairobi, and it's Nairobi, Kenya. It happened to be located in Kajiado County, which is in the metropolis of Nairobi. And so we have 10 hectares. 10 hectares is equally 25 acres. And so we mobilize a team of cyclists and other environmental enthusiasts who rode with us to Gong Hills. And as we got there, we had the community ready and waiting for us and prepared the ground. And we were able to plant at least 1,000 seedlings, and this was an amplifying moment of letting the world and the communities, not just in Kajiado County, we are planting the trees the upcoming conference, which was the COP28. But other than the talk, what we need to do so that we can give life to the conversations around climate change, and what we need to do individually and collectively to ensure that there is there is change and transformation to our environment and to the communities around us. So that is one of our very recent activities, and we're looking forward to doing many more in the coming few days. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Matthew. And I mean, I love the cycling for a cause project thing.
Yes,
I enjoy cycling, so maybe one of these fine days I'll join you, in one of the cycling session, on your
yes.
second planet. And maybe like Matthew, I ask you a question that is in line with what you just shared. You've shared that sorry, you've shared that you've planted 1,000 seedlings recently, which is incredibly amazing. I think it is in line with what the president William Ruto here in Kenya is pushing, the 15 billion tree planting dream to be realized. And the challenge I've been seeing with that is that most people end up we end up planting trees, but then we don't go back and monitor them, see how they're doing, and we end up having a survival rate of such great project becoming so minimal. So my question would be on impact assessment, and maybe as how does team environment measure the impact of of its environmental conservation initiatives, and in the case in scenario now, maybe there are 1,000 trees that you planted. How do you have a plan on how you will do impact assessment?
Thank you so much. Having taken up this challenge, it was after a process of due diligence. We have taken stock. These 10 hectares, we are working strategically with the help of Kenya Forest Service and other state and non-state actors to ensure that all of this is fenced off literally, so that we can protect it from any form of intrusion by herders, by anything that would really interfere or deter the growth of the trees that we have planted. And so other than that, we are working, knowing that this rain season having come, it will pass. We are working on establishing water reservoirs. So we have reached out to stakeholders, partners, and agencies to provide for us water tanks, which will be filling periodically to ensure that there is sustainability of the trees that we planted. And even as the means that we used to amplify the activity and what we want to do as cycling, the cycling we also used it to help amplify motorized transport, which is one of the ways of toning down on carbon emissions as a way of green mobility. We used that initiative for cycling. We used to advocate for road safety and exercising, amongst many other components that work around ensure that we have a sustainable environment. So matters sustainability, matters ensuring that we able to have impact assessment on the activity that we have done, we really are on course to ensure that we have proper monitoring, follow-up monitoring, evaluation, so that we're able to take really stock. And the many tree seedlings, for whatever reason, that will not be able to grow to maturity, even with the rainy season and the watering, we'll be able to replant them. What we've also done with the help of the ecosystem conservator and the forest service team, they have given us seedlings that are suitable for that ecozone, that ecosystem. So much so that they'll be able to survive intense heat or temperatures shortly after they have taken root and are established on that ground. So those measures have been put in place and ensuring to looking back 2 to 3 years later, really look at the success that we'll have realized, not individually, but collectively with all those people that we are reaching out to ensure that we have this success. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're much welcome, Matthew. And it's great hearing all that. And maybe if we now switch gears to community engagement and maybe ask some of these projects that people embark on, rarely we find that they lose that touch of engaging the members of the community. Then with that, they don't get good reception from members of the community, who end up being the one who are supposed to see these projects come to actualization. And my question to you would be, how do the organization involve the local communities in these environmental projects, and also how do you ensure that these projects have positive impact to communities they work around?
Thank you. Well, this particular one was a bit ambitious, very ambitious indeed. And our first point of engagement, having been given this opportunity by the Kenya Forest Service, we had a meeting with the forester in charge of that ecosystem, who incidentally called the area chief. The area chief was able to bring to us the CFA. CFA is Community Forest Association. With its great leadership, we had a literal baraza. We practically had a meeting. We had a meeting with the community, who are the main stakeholders in this particular initiative. And therefore, we had a very, very robust engagement with them. And for the many seedlings, even the ones that we planted on that particular day, were provided to us by one of the old men who has a nursery in his backyard in the immediate neighborhood of the Ngong Hills. So much so that having propagated those seedlings which you planted, we had a conversation to task them to growing the trees together with us, because they are the same people that have cattle. They happen to be a community of pastoralists, and so they keep livestock for their sustainability. And so we had a very, very fruitful engagement to telling them, you know what, this conservation initiative requires all of us, our collective input to ensuring that we maximize on the success of it, and also to ensure that they have immediate benefit. We are working to employ, hopefully permanently, for the next, God willing, 2 or 3 years, at least 15 youth from the community and women. And some of them, depending on the available resources, might go up to, we are starting with 15. Because of the vastness of the land and the work needs to be done there, we work on having them maybe to 20. We will be able to weekly or monthly get a stipend as they help to take care of the project that we are going to initiate together. And so that particular engagement, we have come in 3 ways, so that we plant the trees with them. We have given them the role and responsibility to propagate the seedlings. And after we have planted them, we give them the challenge and the opportunity to provide post-care services. And so their benefit is in 3 ways. And therefore, and we're working on also having incentives during every time we shall be going there to follow up on our own or plant at the next 1,000 or 10,000, whatever number of trees, that every planting time we shall be having incentives we are working around having goodies to give them over and above the monies and the employment that we have just been given to a few. So with the comprehensive broad-based approach we have taken from the area chief, the community forest association, and the tree seedlings propagators and vendors who are in the neighborhood, we are almost guaranteed of maximum success of that project. It's one, we want to use it as one of our key success stories. And anybody that is doing sustainable landscape and afforestation and restoration can come and benchmark with us. That is how determined we are. We want to, like, if these guys have done it, why not? And so that is the challenge, the approach we are taking to ensure that we don't just do it like every other person has done it, but we have a very, very professional, so to speak, approach to ensure that we maximize on the success of the project. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Matthew. And it's really inspiring to hear what what you're projecting and what you so far done. And it speaks volumes on the amount of effort you put into it. And maybe if I can bring, talk about community engagement, and you've just taken us through how you ensure that members of the community are engaged, and and that they also get to participate, to benefit, sorry, with this project. Because in our previous conversation, what has come out clear is that for us to be able to realize success in these climate conservation initiatives, we have to ensure that we have to put people at the center of everything things, in the sense that people have to benefit from it. Because however much we want to take care of the environment, we should also not neglect the fact that people need livelihood, people need to put food on their table. So, and then how you are able to do that? Then, if you position yourself, in a position whereby you have something for the people to take home, then the success rate of the project that you're embarking on then increases with a great margin. And that is, I'm impressed to hear that you have that figured out in the project. And maybe to bring up one emerging trend, which is innovation and technology. And you see now technology has become part of us. I mean, we can't do away with technology. It has made the world become a global village. We connect, people in Malaysia, people in all parts of the country using technology. So, and I believe also, even in this space of environment, we should also embrace technology. And maybe to ask, maybe, do you, as an organization, is there a way you leverage on innovation and technology in your ways to address, environmental issues?
Yes, that is cannot go without saying. In our conservation initiative, even tree growing ventures, we are working on bringing it to life. We have a mobile application called I Plant Trees Technologies as Team Environment Kenya. This this app has is a platform. It's like it's a digital agronomist, which provides us the platform upon which we'll be able to give data of every tree that we have planted. And what it will also provide is a map, geofencing. It will provide so that you're able to, as you access the mobile app, you'll be able to see the geographical location covered by the tree seedlings, how many they are, where they are, and how they are doing. It has the ability to remote sense the humidity of that area, and it having if this is intensively dry, you'll be able to receive a prompt on your phone, and therefore prompt you to respond to watering the tree seedlings, having had intensive heat. So technology is here with us to stay, and it's something that we are mobilizing resources to ensure that it becomes a reality. We also have another app by Kefri and Kenya Forest Service called Jaza Miti app. That is for the government. That's for their database. But as an organization, we have our very own. It's a startup that we shall be launching hopefully in the coming new year to situate that the project that we are initiating has a technological component which will be able, as far as we may be, as we shall be, will be able to, with the help of the community, provide remote sensing, monitoring, so that we're able to really ensure that we maximize on the success of this issue. So I have said it before time. We were looking to have it ready and launched officially, even as we seek to engage on our next action. We shall be having our biggest, hopefully, launch of that project. What we did the other day was just a preamble to let people know that we have this opportunity, and for it to become a reality and we need resources. So it was an awareness creation campaign of sorts to ensure that during the launch of our project, because 25 hectares is such a vast land, we are reaching out to schools, institutions, individuals like Ferdinand Omanyala happened to be our brand ambassador. I have challenged him to take a hectare, which is 2.8 acres, which will be fenced off and called after him. So that you can have every acre taken care of, even as we seek to employ the aspect of technological deployment to ensure that we really are living in the 21st century in that regard in our consumption efforts. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Matthew. I mean, I must confess that you're incredibly doing great. Positioning yourself in the digital era. It's so incredible, and I'm curious, interested to learn how this humidity sensors work. Such that I can be able to get a prompt from my phone, and I learn that my tree somewhere, my tree that I've planted somewhere lacks water, and I need to go and address it. So address it. It sounds amazing, and maybe to dive to something else, which is partnership. I believe for such projects, with such initiatives, Liverpool's slogan is no man works alone. No man works alone. We
Yes.
believe in the synergies of working together in the spirit of this partnership SDP. So, are there ways in which you collaborate with other organizations or even people out here to see that you actualize your projects to just make things work?
Yeah, that is a very integral component to Team Environment Kenya. As our name suggests, we are a team working in the space of environment. We have our last name to the name of organization as Kenya, but we're not really confined within the borders and the boundaries of our republic, because climate change issues are borderless, and therefore we are a conglomeration of all other environmental organizations, youth groups, women groups, corporates, institutions, private and public government agencies, to ensure that we are able to accomplish these momentous tasks. So our success this far, having been founded in 2017, for instance, there are many things we've done across our beautiful republic. All of them have been as a result of partnerships and collaborations. It's definite that environmental conservation and its sustainability is a collective responsibility. You can't do it alone. Doing it alone will be very insignificant, if no success at all. So everyone ought to do their part. For instance, in Long Hills, we had the community preparing the grounds for our coming, and they provided the seedlings from the same neighborhood. They help in the planting and the growing and they'll help in the growing of the tree seedlings. So I did mention that we are looking forward to reaching out to schools, institutions of public and private agencies, to over and above the government organizations, which are Kenya Forest Service, KEFRI. They are providing guidance and technical expertise on how we need to go about executing and implementing this project. So we have all our initiatives and activities anchored on partnerships and collaborations, so that they're able, if they give us, for instance, financial support or seedlings donation, or any other support, we would want to show them in reciprocation the resources you gave to us in this amount have gone to doing this. Come and see 6 months later, because that becomes a motivation aspect even to them, so that we also become good stewards of the resources that have been channeled to us in this regard, and therefore we can't but by partnerships and collaboration. And so SDG 17 is very, very key to us. Because by planting these trees also, we're not just planting trees for conservation per se, we also work around addressing the component of food security. So we have tons of fruit trees that we are seeking and have planted in many places, which will provide a dietary supplement, and therefore ensuring good health and well-being to the communities that we engage in this conversation. And so with the fruit trees, they really provide immediate benefit. Immediate to mean in the next, if you planted passion fruits or avocado, depending on the nature and the type of them, they will not wait for many years like trees, ordinary trees, to really get to see their benefits. So that has been a component of motivation, and really encouraging communities and people to adopt tree growing and planting culture. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Matthew. And I mean, yeah, it's SDG number 17. You actually, it's you brought how and it's enshrined in your activities, and that is absolutely amazing. And now, maybe Matthew, if you don't mind, can you share with us, some of the challenges that you as an organization have faced in your pursuit, to make the world a better place through your climate conservation activities, and maybe share lessons you've learned from them? Because, personally, I don't call challenges challenges. I prefer terming them as lessons learned. So maybe are there some lessons you've learned in your engagement?
Yes, let's just first address them as challenges, as it were, because it is with them that we get the solutions and the lessons learned. The challenges certainly are um, uh, varying weather patterns, and which is the reality of climate change. You planted this number of trees with the hope that this rain will be here for this amount of time, and therefore being able to guarantee the success of the growth of those trees, and you realize it just like you speak right now, it has faded away. So the challenge are that to really having the community to buy into the idea, into the fact that we have an obligation to living a better environment for generations after us. Every place we've gone to, with the economic times that you're living in, people want immediate gratification. Like, we are doing this, so what are you giving us in return? And therefore, it boiling down to resources, most of which is definitely monetary. You cannot overemphasize the monetary resource that really helps in motivating the people that you are engaging to help in these activities. So such is the challenge. And also, given the economic times, many organizations, incidentally or unfortunately, have not, except for very recently, and also given the economic times, most of them really don't have budgetary allocation for environmental initiatives. Having said that, we depend on organizations, on partnerships and collaboration. Very few of them have budgetary allocations for environmental issues, initiatives and activities. And so that becomes really a challenge, and knowing very well that we can only deliver on this together. So the lessons learned are that we need to work around being sustainable as ourselves. So sustainability is working. We have worked around not just tree growing. We have initiatives such like environmental education. So that we don't blame the community for not buying into our idea, having not showed them the importance. So the lessons that we're learning is that we need to invest much more in environmental education and awareness creation. Other than that, besides tree growing, what other initiatives, what other innovations do we have in the larger environment space that will help sustaining their lives and livelihoods? What alternative practices can they engage in, and that will be as good as having a briquettes, which is alternative cooking fuel. We have recycling of waste, proper waste management. We have a slogan in our organization called on waste management, that waste is not waste if it is sorted at source. So that we, through waste segregation, we're able to have value, we're able to have resources from the waste that has been gathered at whatever point. So those are some of the lessons that we have learned, and we are working on engaging in schools, from primary, junior school, high school to university, so it can have the environment and climate change issues really engraved, hopefully in the curriculum and in this, so that we are able to grow up citizens, youth, people that really are environment conscious and can sacrifice their time to taking care of the environment, because it all starts with an individual and with as little as conserving water in their house and households, proper usage of power and light, and take care of the environment, as it were, not littering, among as many others. So those are the lessons that we have learned, that it ought to start from the household, from the leaving no one behind. We have the children on board, not just the children but on board, but also the PWDs. We have a very inclusive project, so that we don't speak about leaving no one behind when we have segregated it to just the well able-bodied, or those that are able to know, learn, understand. So we have everyone on board in every sense of that word, and therefore we, the team Environment Kenya, seeking to doing our little thing to make a difference in the larger spectrum and space of conservation. Thank you.
You're welcome, Matthew. Leaving no one behind, inclusivity, that came out very clear, and indeed a great lesson there. Collaboration, with collaboration, it never goes wrong. And I cannot disagree with you on that. And maybe, Matthew, what are the plans or future plans for Team Environment Kenya? We're almost getting to a new year. What plans do you have?
The plans that we have taken a break, even as we listen to the conversation at COP, to strategize and really plan for next year. We have a series of events and activities. Our determination and resolve is that of the 15 billion tree seedlings target by our government through the things headed by the Ministry of Environment and the President, our ambitious hope is to have hopefully 100 million of those facilitated, initiated by Team Environment Kenya in the various counties. So we shall do that in water towers, in schools, institutions. So we have done a mapping and a zoning for that, to ensure that we have impact that's sustainable and an approach that is job creating and youth engaging. We are working with the Kenya KEFRI and Kenya Forest Service through our networks and youth organizations in the 47 counties, and tasking them to adopting blue-collar jobs, venturing into tree nursery establishment and seedlings propagation, so that when you come to your county, whatever time that would be, we are working on ensuring that we procure the seedlings from the various youth group and women group that we shall have engaged, by providing them seedlings, giving them capacity building, training opportunities, so that they can be self-sustaining, and most importantly, to ensure that we do not, just like for us to be food secure, we do not necessarily depend on rain-fed agriculture. The reality of climate change is here with us, that we have erratic weather patterns. We are working on establishing water reservoir, so that we can be able to, in various locations, donating them to various youth groups, so that they don't say our siblings, having started this project, they wither, they never, because we didn't have water. So that is a very deliberate approach and intention to ensure that we have sustainability, that no effort, no energy that will be channeled towards this particular important cause will go to waste. So and to ensure that they also not only just do tree seedling propagation per se, but many other environment and conservation initiatives to ensure that their lives and livelihoods are sustained. So matters environmental education, climate change activism, so that we can really have our collective voice amplified to as we agitate for funding climate finance. When those resources come, they find us already doing something so that they just build up, add on to what we're already doing individually and collectively. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Matthew. And let's let's analyze this conversation, and maybe ask you from where you sit, what does it mean to make the world a better place in terms of taking care of the environment?
In one word, making the world a better place. It is not. It's no longer a request, or it is almost an obligation. You see, generations after us, before us, gave us this environment that we're in. It's fairly, for lack of a better word, dilapidated. It's messed up in many ways. The best gift that we can leave for generations after us is a peaceful, cleaner, and greener environment. And, and that is the best for posterity. That is the best heritage. And so it's a challenge, but it's doable. So leaving the world a better place simply means doing what you can, where you are, with what you have. The resources that we are looking from all across, you need to start with what you have. There is so much resource and opportunity around us that we haven't explored, we haven't exploited, we were not even realized. So can you do just what you can, the little that you can? If it's admonishing, if it's through your various gifts, various maybe sporting activity, poem, drama, skit, can you do? There is so much that you can do with what you have, where you are right now. So we are challenging everyone and anyone. There are myriad opportunities in this space so that we can feed into the larger conversation of climate change and to ensuring that we don't just speak about it, but we provide a solution to the challenge that we all know it is to all of us. And in that, we will be able to live not just have a better world for ourselves, but for generations after us.
Well put there, Matthew. I mean, I can't add anything from what you just shared. And COP28 is here with us. Any thoughts, any reflections you want to share about COP28 and on the things ought to be done, on some of the policies you think would be ideal to speed the actualization of the SDG goals?
Yeah, thank you so much. COP 28 must have been one of the greatest events and happenings. We all were looking forward to it. We have had a great representation by the youth from the region and beyond, and really speaking about the need for resources. That has been the greatest challenge. Uh, when we have floods, they mess us up. When we have drought, they messes humanity up. And therefore, what is needed ideally is resources. Being one of the developing countries in this part of the globe, we require resources. Youth are a very integral part of any community and society and any republic, and they are the most valuable resource. So can we have, even as we agitate for it, can we have the resources that we need and require from the people, institutions, companies, and the nations of the world that have these resources, the largest polluters of the environment and contributors to climate change and its effects. And so my clarion call is to have those resources made available and given to the people that suffer the brunt of climate change most. And the people that will be able to help in providing solution definitely are the larger cloud of the youth across the globe. And so my thinking is that after the COP, can we get into actioning, doing what we can in the various countries and countries that we have, to ensure that we have sustainable solutions to the myriad of challenges that we face globally and around the world. So I think that is my take to ensure that when the next COP comes, we really will be able to get there and report of the things that we will have done to make a difference for the policies. I want to say that we have sufficient laws. What has always lacked is implementation. And these policies and laws, for them to be implemented, we require resources. We can speak and speak and speak, but with the best policies that we have, without the resources accompanying the policies, then we'll still be in the same spot, and therefore not really doing what we need to do. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Matthew, for the great insights there on what ought to be, deliberated on.
Yes.
In our 12 days of COP, we have an interesting segment which we are calling the Book of Trees, where we're inviting people to share a story with us of a tree that they've planted some time back. It could be recently, it could be some time back, and you've developed this connection with that tree. Maybe could you be having such a tree that you've planted? I know you've lost count of the trees that you've planted because there's so many. And maybe could you be having that one tree that you planted some time back, and you developed that connection with it, and maybe share with us what connection do you have with it?
And like you rightfully said, I've planted quite a number, but let me pick this particular one. I planted at KAG's University. KAG's University, one of the students I passed through. And when we started this ambitious program and project of tree growing, we went up to the vice chancellor and they gave us 2 acres of land with a borehole, and that's where our tree nursery is established. So one of these times I organized a tree planting in the institution, and so I have planted this particular tree. And every time I've driven or gotten myself to that institution, I've done a deliberate follow-up just to see how it's doing. And so there's a sentimental attachment. First and foremost, it is strategic location right outside the administration block. We planted together with the vice chancellor and the people that were part of the other guests. And so this particular, it is an ornamental tree. And so I have such an attachment to it. It doesn't have my plaque on it, but this particular one, I'm looking forward to having it providing the most beautiful shade around and the ambience that the institution really needs and requires. So I did not know that I'll be able to respond to this tree that I've always had a very, very close attachment to at this place where our tree nursery is established. So that even as we speak about establishing tree nurseries and tree growing, we have our very own that has got almost 100,000 seedlings, and we are working on growing increasing the numbers, and they are all for give outs for growing and planting in the various places that will be available, so that we're able to walk the talk in every sense of that word. So we are Team Environment Kenya, just wanting to make a difference, and our clarion call to everyone that is watching and listening to us is to let's go green with you. It's doable, it's possible. We can make this world a better place, not just for ourselves, but for posterity and generations after us. And so check us out on our various media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Team Environment Kenya, and join the bandwagon and the larger cloud of us just living this life, wanting to make a difference. That's the most important things in our little and small way. So that is our delight, our great pleasure, and looking forward to engaging with all of us from all across the world to ensure that we really leave this world a better place.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Final words as we wrap this up, Matthew.
Final words are that anything and everything is impossible, if not difficult, until it is done. And we have this determination, which is undeterred, to really leaving this world a better place. It doesn't matter what it takes, because we realize that we can with what we have. There is so much resources that we have. In fact, the most important resource is ourselves, and just being in good health and sound mind. And so that is the most important resource, to ensure that we put ourselves to good use and encourage and admonish many others to join up with us. And in this regard, we are determined to leaving no one behind. And so join the bandwagon so that whatever has been said to be difficult or impossible, can we be able to demystify and change that narrative? And so we are doing it. Of the 15 billion tree seedlings, 100 million of those for the period that God will allow us to, shall we be able to do. So far, we have planted close to 1 million plus, working on taking stock really of the many that we planted. So going forward, we are joining hands with every like-minded person, climate change enthusiast, environmental enthusiast, and just well-wishers to ensure that we do this. And yes, we can.
Great. Yes, we can. What a nice way to end this conversation. It's been a great honor having you, Matthew Chanda, as our guest today. You've showered us with great insights, and there's also, made given us insights on how we can rethink our choices, to
Yes.
help navigate climate change. It's been such a great honor again, Mr. Matthew Chanda, for your wise words and just showcasing what Team Environment Kenya is doing. And until we meet again, we say thank you so much and continue doing what you're doing to make this world a better place. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to getting us on.
Great. David, that was a conversation we had with Matthew Chanda from Team
Yeah.
Environment Kenya on what they're doing to restore the environment. What's your thought on that?
I really I liked the conversation. It was so educational. Let me say that. The young man really shedded a lot of wisdom, and he seems to be very informed and focused on what he's doing. And I'm really touched and impressed on how he's driving his points, especially the last comment that you gave him to, to give his final remarks. That was very impressive. That nothing is impossible, but it will be impossible if we don't decide to do it. But if we decide to do it and decide on how we are going to do it, then everything is going to be possible. So I'm really touched in activities that are going through with him and his team, and I really believe that. I really see some light, in Africa, because those are young Africans right now coming up and doing beautiful things out here. So I just want to say that that was a beautiful conversation, very educational, and full of hope for a better tomorrow. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David. And it was nice to engage with him. And as you've put it, they're doing quite a lot of things, and it's hopeful. And I think from what we got today in today's meditation segment, where where we are told that when people go high, when people go low, you go high.
Yeah.
So this is just one way to show people that to give us an example that amidst the problems that we are having, we can choose to go high by doing the things that we are supposed to make our environment better. So we're almost winding up, and let's have some fun. Let's have some comedy, and just uh, break our ribs for a while as we enjoy the comedy from all the way from Scotland by Nico, and just have an idea, or just have a taste of something to just break the monotony from the the serious
Yeah.
conversations we're having here. So yeah, allow
I
me to take
see.
you.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
an interesting one. It's an interesting
Yeah.
one, and I know you'll love it.
Yeah, roll it out.
Comes
I don't
who's
know.
tipping over the tipping point. This is supposed to be a comedy quiz show featuring various bits and aspects with the sole purpose of ensuring that you can keep on laughing sustainably, of course, nothing else. So with me today, I obviously have the other half, Dr. David Coe, but he's not the interesting bit because we have up in the cold depths of Scotland, we have Nico with us. And more importantly, we have Katie Critchlow with us. And from much sunnier part, we have Ian Kaplan with us. So, welcome. And the format here is a little bit loose, but we are supposed to score points based on various segments of the show. And we're going to start out looking at basically the most unsustainable products we could pick up. So I'm going to hand over to David, and he's going to send us off with the first product. And then we're going to have a little bit of a reasoning around why we love this product so much and what we see as a future for it. So, David, off you go. You get the first pick.
And maybe I'd love to give a little bit more of an introduction of the various people. So, you know, myself and Richard, we've come from very much a hardcore investment background. So we understand about how you persuade people to buy things they don't need. That's basically our skill, our superpower there. Nico, actually, he's living up in Scotland, so he's way up in the north, but he comes from Zimbabwe, which is way down in the south. So he represents that union between what people call the global north and the global south. Now, how that ended up in Scotland, I don't know, but maybe he'll tell us. And Katie has an illustrious career within the sustainability and actually within the commercial area of actually making the businesses to be how we dream of businesses becoming. And so she has that experience and maybe some of the cynicism that can color just how we can look at the products and really understand what goes on behind the scene. And Ian is there. He is from a background where he's entrepreneurial and has been about how you can bring technology and bring entrepreneurial spirits to products. And Richard and I tell him, you know what, as soon as the money gets in there, it all gets corrupted. And so we have great fun talking about that. So thank you very much for everybody. And now let's bring on some of these things. I think what we can.
Hello, everyone. Yes, you cannot live without it. You can live without it. But I'm thinking about the disaster that Metaf has used. And but if you can clean your own lungs out of cancer, you can use it. But I'm gonna pass to David to warm up my jokes.
What I'm thinking of actually is the London souvenirs. I think we can definitely do without that. I mean, you know, who would want to bring souvenirs or these little gimmicky toys of buses that are red that come with them?
But you have kids, don't you? Kids love buses. Red double-decker buses are a hit. I mean, trust me, you know, first 3 times I went back after we moved to the UK, I only brought buses with me. All the kids love them, irrespective of age. I mean, you get to the point when they stop loving them, but, you know, from like 1 to 10, they all love red buses. It's amazing. London souvenirs, no, we want to keep them as long as they're red buses.
Can I chip in on that? For me, I cannot live with that leaf of weed because I'm allergic to the police. So that might make my life difficult.
Yeah, and
granted.
But you know what I think is, you know, it's got that CBD on, so everybody sees this and they think what they're doing is they're smoking the weed, but actually, it is actually filtered out, right? You know, the stuff you have in there is not the or so my son tells me, you know, it's not the real thing.
Yeah, but maybe we should clarify. But should we clarify what CBD stands for? You know, for old schoolers like me who prefer to roll up, what does CBD actually stand for? Do we know, David?
We're all buying it. We just don't know what it is.
I'm gonna just make
you don't need to know.
for a joke. I'm gonna tell you a joke about CBD. Stand for cowards, bastards, and dogs. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
English is not my first language. I just understand.
I think that's a great definition. But instead, I am going to go along. And today's world, you know, with these things, you can always just hop over into Wikipedia or wherever it is in finding out. Have you ever had those conversations where you're talking with someone and they're like desperately looking up everything you say on their phone?
I'm not that smart. Most people understand exactly what I'm saying. You know, I'm a man of few words. When they start looking up my vocabulary, the world is in real trouble, trust me.
So, is CBD a drug? Yep, it's a chemical and cannabis sativa plant, also known as cannabis for hemp. It's an approved drug for seizures. Is it better than Viagra? That's the bit that everybody knows. It's not a replacement for Viagra.
It's not. Oh.
I like the idea that I can use my phone to call a Rastafari and maybe can classify that one. No,
so, I'm sorry to disappoint you there, Richard. You cannot use this instead of Viagra.
Shocking, really.
But of course, the real problem here is the vaping, isn't it? And what happens with the vaping is you end up putting in a battery in there, and you end up having these things where, for all the talk about how we need our battery stuff, and it's kind of like destroying communities and everything, making it, we're sticking into little plastic tubes with which we can breathe in stuff that our lungs are actually not designed to take. And at the same time, you know, that we're just competing with all these kind of, actually we're competing with Elon Musk, you know. Maybe he should have a word to say about this with his amazing Tesla cars and all that. So Kate, what do you think? Is this a product you can do without?
I just wish, you know, we'd sorted out smoking, you know, pretty well, and then we just let this whole industry, and it's just blossomed and boomed, doesn't it, in the last few years? But you know, I speak to our goddaughter at school. There's kids going into the toilets. They've had to ban kids from going to the toilet because they're vaping. They've got, you know, these flavors, strawberry snow and fizzy gums and all this sort of thing, like really aimed at children, full of batteries that you throw away after one use. It's just such a shame that we've let the industry come up, and it's just such a good example of us letting corporate lobbying and profit making just go wild over just, you know, cents. But the actual effects of nicotine, my mother-in-law has chewed nicotine gum for about 30 years. And whenever I speak to her about pretty much anything, she reaches for a gum and puts it in her mouth. So I can tell I'm stressing her out. And so I think she's like a one-woman experiment that we could see the long-term effects of the nicotine on its own without the tobacco. So we're waiting to see what happens to lovely Wendy to see about that side of things. But the vapes, the reuse, the throwaway batteries, the kiddies flavors, just bin them. We don't need them.
Yeah. Okay. So no production of vapes from Katie there. But what does she do with the gum? Does she stick it under the table as we all used to do? Or?
Yes, actually, she's a very sustainable, very frugal person. So she even puts it back in the packet and then gets it out again later when I'm stressed out next time.
Oh dear.
Reusable gum. I like that. I like that.
Exactly. No throwing away in that household.
What about Ian? Ian, where do you go? Can we do without it, vape?
Well, I don't know, seeing as how I neither smoke nor vape nor anything else, I'm probably the last person to be able to offer any kind of insight into either of the two of them. Well, it seems kind of strange to me that instead of using a match and lighting a little round thing and holding it, it's gone all electronic and batteries and plastics and sent all around the world for people to escape from reality. So you can probably guess what my answer is, right?
You're for.
Yeah. I'm full for it now. No, I definitely think we
Staunch
can do that.
supporter then.
Sorry, Richard.
Feels like Ian is a really staunch supporter of vaping. Yeah, I'm probably very much in his camp. You know, what puzzles me with the whole vaping thing, right? And this has puzzled me ever since I first came across it. Is we live in 2023, and they probably came 5 years ago, whatever. For real, maybe it's longer. Time travels so fast. We know smoking does a lot of really bad things to you, but ultimately it's a free choice. The real issue for me is like who should foot the bill for the healthcare that it causes. The rest is like, if you want to smoke and we manage to take away largely the risk of, you know, passive smoking because it's banned pretty much everywhere, you go ahead. Now, smoking a cigarette, and this is someone I will readily admit, I love tobacco. Tobacco is a fantastic flavor. It's just that it does bad things to me. And I'm a reasonably rational person, so I opt out. I do not smoke. I have a cigar at New Year or maybe, you know, summer party, I can light up a little cigarette. But there is a procedure around lighting a cigarette. This I've been told reliably by the many smokers I actually know. It's a ritual. It's a thing. It tastes good. You inhale it, it gives you a certain pleasure. I cannot see any romanticism, you know, as a kid sneaking into the toilet, loading up the vape and saying, give me some strawberry flavor because I didn't get any fruit for lunch. It's like...
Oh, it's 1 or 5 a days.
Yeah, but the amount of nicotine in the vapes is like 100 times what there is in some of the cigarettes they found. It's just, there's no romanticism in it. It's just purely and simply like horribly addictive. So
wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing, because I see the ad where they say it's 95% better than a cigarette or something. But you're saying
you're saying exactly the opposite, Kate. It's 95 times worse than the cigarette.
Well, in terms of the nicotine and the addictive, yeah. Because we had a friend who went to the doctors and he said you're taking in the equivalent of like 100 cigarettes a day or something like that with the vaping that he's doing, and he was like, oh gosh, had no idea. But yeah, it's I think you can just keep going at it a lot longer, because probably with the tobacco with smoking, like there's a carrying capacity for your lungs where they just stop a lot earlier. So yeah.
Okay, so Nico, we're going to need some points here, basically. And we're going to move
You're the judge.
You've got me who's basically saying, you know, little toy London buses are worse. You've got Richard who's saying, is it better than Viagra? You've got Katie who says the best way is to chew gum. And you've got Ian who says, what a waste of the batteries and the plastics and everything else.
Okay. How many points do I need to give each person? Oh, go down. This one.
You can give me all the points.
I need a pen.
You're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. You can award exactly what you want. You have full control. Think of yourself as God.
I think the top points I'm going to be giving people will be 50 points up, down. Okay, I'm going to work at 50, 40, 30. Is that okay?
This is going to be like the Eurovision Song Contest, isn't it?
Yes. Who gets the nil one?
Okay.
God forbid.
I think I'm going to start by David. I'll give you 20 points.
Only 20?
Because,
oh, God.
Yeah, because I think people, they get rid of all the monikers very soon. They will. No one likes all these, what's called...
souvenirs.
Yeah, souvenirs. Like me as a refugee, every time I look at that, I think, oh, what I'm doing here. You know, but again, I don't know. I think it's good. I'm just doing it as a comment, so please, it's not personal. It's just like, so I'll give it 20. I'll give Kat 30.
Oh,
because actually I should give you more. I should give her more, sorry, because you actually explained a lot as well, and stuff like that. But I'm looking at the funny side of it, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not like, it's not about what's going to happen in the production, it's about let's make fun of this on the planet and see that like that. But I had a very strange idea when Kesh was talking. I don't know if I can say it, because sometimes my language can cross the world. I was thinking like if verbs, they were visiting, if the verb would have versus vibrators, and then have to have an election, I think the vibrators will win. Anyway, so I'll give you. I'll give you 30 for that one.
Being a betting man, it's not convincing. No.
So how many points? How many points do you give for Katie?
I actually think I did see a
I'll say
website
that.
for sustainable sex toys, so maybe we need to look that one up the
Really?
next time.
Oh,
yes,
we'll
yes.
find that one next time, definitely.
Not that I was
Yes.
Googling for them.
Is that,
I'll give you
does it
40
say
on that
find
one.
yourself a man who can last?
Okay, to go 40 points.
Okay.
40.
Now,
And Ian?
I was gonna give I'll give David 50. You know why? David, Richard, sorry.
Ian.
Richard, I'll give you 50. Because Richard, he actually make a joke about himself. Very much in a nice way, like the tobacco. Yeah, it's so nice. You know, I mean, we need that vibe of actually trying to sell the products, and then at the end you refuse to sell it.
I will say it here and now. If tobacco had no adverse effects, I would smoke 100 a day. It's fantastic. It's just that it's bad for you.
Well, there you go. You know, this is the bit.
So
if we do these things which are genuinely sustainable, then you can do 100 a day and you can still live tomorrow. The problem is, you know,
there are problems.
Yes.
Now, I think I forgot some because I'm confused. I think I don't know if we can write on the screen. If you are Remainer or Brexit, if you want the vibes to stay, you are Remainer. If you want the verb, to be chucked away, maybe we should call it leave. You know, I'm trying to make it a little bit fun. Like you got leave, remain, and confused.com.
Okay, what about Ian? So I've got David at 20, Richard at 50, Katie 40, Ian is
15 because no, it's not. I'm giving points according, like if you make people laugh. That I think that's the part of this laughing is sustainable.
Oh yeah. No, there's plenty of time to catch up. You know, we used to the world where, you know, we don't get forward, and we've been
Stop. Let us look at this screen. I'm in the lead. I haven't seen the lead since form cross country race because I ran the wrong way. I ran the right way and everyone else ran the wrong way. That's amazing. Okay.
It might change,
I'm
Richard,
loving
because
this show already.
the judge is still confused about the case here, but you might drop down to somehow, I don't know. But anyway.
Wow, that was a nice segment, and I hope you laughed, David. Personally, I did.
I don't know how many marks. I was happy with the segment of giving out marks.
Okay, interesting. What was the highlight for you for the comedy show?
I really like. Actually, this is my field, and it was awesome. It's always good to have creative people who can make people at least laugh, enjoy. You see, sometimes we're in this work, every time you're running up a program, running up some schedule. But anytime you get an opportunity and you get someone who can make you laugh, you really feel rejuvenated, you feel refreshed, and you're ready to go. And I enjoyed the show. It was awesome. I think those guys, if you meet them in real life, I don't know, because I'm used to David running programs here and there. I don't think, but today I think we are seeing another picture of these guys. And it was interesting. It was awesome to close the show. Yeah, back to you, Tim.
Awesome. I agree with you. And I think for me, it's the highlight was, seeing how Kate's mom-in-law to use gum in a sustainable way, such that once she's done with it, she has to return it to that paper, packaging paper. Instead of taking film and out. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, so David, we've come to the end of this show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Personally, I have.
Mhm.
From the incredible conversations that have been here, and wrapping it up with the comedy show. It's been amazing. And how do we sign out, David?
Of course, we do what we do best, and we'll, of course, sign out with some music. As far as we have comedy, we also have some music, of course, to make sure that we balance all our audience. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, this is how we sign out our great audience. And until next time, same tomorrow, same time, same place, we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Alright, yeah. We live fast, we live slow, we love deep, we fly high. Live fast, live slow, we love deep, we fly high. We live